They're a drinking club with a cycling problem. Coming up next on Pedal the Springs, we're talking with the group from Manitou Spokes. Welcome and roll on in to the Pedal the Springs podcast, where we banter about all things biking in Colorado Springs and the Pikes Peak region. I'm your host, Tori Giffen, and what I don't know about biking in this area, my friends do. And here are today's guests. We have the group from the Manitou Spokes. Woo-hoo! Yeah.
Cheers. Bikes and beer.
Cheers. Bikes and beers. Yes. There we go.
Yes.
All right. Kathleen's waiting for the ride because you have a rule, right? What's the rule,
That's
Kathleen?
rule.
You can't say the word beer until halfway through the ride. And if you do, you have to buy everybody around.
I like that rule.
Or you turn around at that spot.
and get back before everyone.
Yeah.
So, Manitou Spokes and the fearless leader, Del Hokanson. Hello. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting us. And
It's such a pleasure. I'm going to let you introduce your tribe today.
Okay. So first of all, we have Kathleen Morrow here, and she is one of the originals. I've tried to get a cross section. We have over 120 on the email list, but we've got probably 30 regulars coming every week in some way or another. So I've tried to get a cross section, and we have Edie Elkins, and Edie is I'll let them explain.
A mountain biking babe.
Yes, she is it all. She is it all, including being a grandma right now. So yes, it's a big confluence of people. And then we have Hendrika, who is new to us this year. So we've got somebody who is an original and somebody who's new to us, and I wanted to get that sort of contrast. And then we have Frank Murray over here, and he has got a lot of experience, and he can share many stories about...
Or as I like to call him, Frankie Blue Eyes, right? Frankie
okay.
Blue Eyes.
You're making me blush.
He looks really good.
Does he dance like Sinatra as well?
He looks really good in the
Buffalo
Manitou
Lodge.
Spokes jersey, and he looks really good. Those eyes really set off in the Buffalo Lodge
pop.
Bike Tribe jersey too. So you're part of both of our clubs. I like
correct.
that.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that. Well, tell me, Del, how did the Manitou Spokes come about?
Well, basically, coming from Australia and sort of wanting to find my tribe, and I wanted to ride with somebody. And so there's a few women in Manitou who are interested in doing a triathlon. And I had to actually look at the triathlon medals to work out when was our first meeting that we met in Manitou in a coffee shop, actually. And there was a half a dozen women, and that's where the name Manitou Spokes emerged. And we started training for the triathlon. And I think we did 2 years of triathlons before it sort of became... bigger than that. I think in 2009 was our first meeting. 2011 would have been our first trophy celebration, and Edie would have been at that, and Kathleen. And we had a half a dozen trophies that year that I created. So that's going way back.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get
2000.
into the trophies. So you guys were both there in the very beginning.
Yep.
Are you still triathletes?
Well, we did it for 10 years, and so from 2009 to 2019 or 18, I think. But Kathleen is my mentor.
I'm in my 80s now,
yes, she
and
is
I
my
haven't
mentor.
run a marathon or a triathlon about 5 years, I guess.
But,
I don't know if they even let 80-year-olds in. Yeah, they do.
Sure they do. Sure they do. Especially when they're as cute as you.
Yeah.
They have age groups. They have age groups for that.
That's true.
Right. That's right.
True.
But you guys have all ages in the group now.
That's part of them.
From young families and singles all the way up until...
To puppies. We have puppies, too.
yeah. They have
Last
dogs
week
on
we
their
had 2
ride, too.
puppies in backpacks. Yes.
So I love the names for your rides also. Tell me about the 3 different types of rides. that
I'll
you
let
lead.
them explain because they represent some of these.
Well, okay. So who leads the flat and friendly ride?
Nobody leads it. We take turns.
Leading it. Okay. So you have a flat
Figuring
and
out where
friendly
to go.
ride.
Flat
you
and
have
friendly.
the hot and hilly ride, which is also, those are both road bike rides. Hot and hilly just does more hills. And then you have a mountain bike ride.
And then we have a mountain bike.
Of course.
Yeah. And then we have some who can do them all. Yeah.
Yes. So Edie, tell me about the mountain biking portion of the Manitou Spokes, because you're one of the few groups that on the same day you go out with all 3 different rides at the same time on the same day. All the other groups, they have, this ride on this day and this ride on that day, and you guys all go out together at the same time, have your little adventure. Tell me about it.
Right. Well, when we meet at Buff Lodge, we break up into our 3 different groups. The one I primarily ride with are the trail trekkers, which Dell named us. We're the mountain bike group. We usually ride straight into Red Rock Canyon open space. Sometimes we'll ride up Iron Mountain.
That's a good hill.
If I
know,
can get
I know,
anyone to do
right?
that with me, which is sometimes difficult, we have a great time. Sometimes there's just 1 or 2 of us. Sometimes there's 10 or 15 of us. It's the camaraderie, the challenges, and everyone's so supportive. We don't have to explain that we're a no-drop group. It's just automatic.
Yes.
We will never, ever leave anyone behind. And we just have a great, great time.
What were you going to say, Frank?
These are the gung-ho cyclists. we go to the bar and wait 30 minutes before they ever show up.
Yes, that's right.
They just keep going and going and going.
They sometimes
Well, no
almost
one-
miss out on the pizza after.
Well, no one said beer, so we just kept going.
That is one of the things that you guys do also that I love. And a lot of groups just get together and ride, and then, maybe some of them might go out somewhere, but you guys are very intentional. You meet every week on Tuesday throughout the summer at 5:00, and you each go out on your 3 different rides, and then you go meet at a different place that you patronage and support with your business after the rides. And so how did that part come about?
We're thirsty and hungry. And it's just about being community. I mean, we're sponsoring a community feel, so we also want to support Tori at Buffalo Lodge. We want to support the Manitou breweries, and of course we like beers, so most of the places are going to be breweries. Voodoo, South Park. I mean, it's just, but we try and vary it up too, just to make it more interesting for everybody, to try and get some diversity. And the one thing that we do differently is the first Tuesday of every month, I coordinate that we meet somewhere different. And the purpose of that is just to alternate it up a little bit. So we have different routes, not doing the same. I mean, from Manitou, we've got wonderful routes, but they're pretty much consistent. Every week is going to be kind of the same, Red Rock Canyon or, Midland Trail or the Navigators. And so if we meet somewhere differently in the city, we can explore, discover, appreciate the trail system in this town. I mean, there's a lot more going. Trail riders, Ute Valley and Pulpit Rock. Now we have the new Rock Island connection. So really appreciate that. And Alan Bouchant is an angel, and he is a great supporter of ours, and he will educate us too about some of these trails that I didn't know about. So, he's just a great, great gift to this town.
Yes, Kathleen.
I just wanted to say, Dell is talking about how we organize this and we coordinated that. Dell does this. Mm-hmm. She is our mentor, our leader, our coordinator.
Very humble.
And she just has been putting this thing and holding it together for 20 years, has it been?
Since 2009.
I'd say 2011 with actual emails and waivers but no
13.
fees. It's
so about 13 years now.
13 years.
And this is the other thing about your club is that this is like the best kept secret or not. Everybody comes to you organically through word of mouth. There is no web page. There is no Facebook
There
page.
is a Facebook page,
There is-
actually.
I did not
but
know
I
that.
don't use it very much.
We don't post.
We don't post it a lot. Yeah.
You could go
You could
find
find
the
us that
Facebook
way.
page. You could find them, but literally you show up, you give them your email, and then you get on the list, and you send out every week. You send out photos from the last week. You talk about the upcoming ride and where you're going. It's very personal.
And I think, to Edie's point too, is that it's actually word of mouth, and just that actually allows us to be who we are. Because generally, if they're friends of friends, they come with a similar set of values. And we're not advertising, and we're not trying to, get numbers. I mean, I don't want any more than 30 or 40 a night. Like, yeah. But, truly, that is the reason why nobody gets left behind, is because everybody knows and likes and is connected and is community. And we practice the values of that. And, it just comes with who we know.
So, Henrika, how did you find out about the club then?
So we had friends that were part of the club for years, and then some of their friends were part of the club and invited us to show up, and we thought, give it a try. I was never into cycling. I was always just a ride my bike to get from point A to point B kind of gal, and severely underestimated, I think, what I can do. So over this season, it's just been tremendous growth and tons of support, and it's been amazing. I think this group lets you show up as you are, who you are, and just kind of rides alongside you and helps you along. And it's been amazing. Yeah, thank you for including me.
Well, she's just about literally explained her trophy for this year.
I have no idea what
the come as you are. So, for the lack of all the social and marketing, we are all sitting here wearing this beautiful jersey that your daughter designed.
My daughter, Hannah Hookinson, now Hannah Yeomans, she's a graphic designer, and she put this together pretty quickly. She worked out where Ohio was. I do not know that stuff, and she was awesome with it. So if you ever need a graphic designer, just
look her up.
I put a plug for her. Yeah,
we just put in another jersey order. We kind of had to twist your arm to get some more jerseys ordered, but now I have mine too, which is yay, part of the club. So I found you guys. I'd heard of the Manitou Spokes, but you used to meet out of the park. Was that Memorial Park?
7 Minute Springs
in
by
Manitou
some water.
Springs. And then COVID hit, and people stopped gathering, and they were very slow to start gathering again. And you guys, as soon as the world was opening back up, I don't know how you decided the Buffalo Lodge or how you heard about me, but as the world started opening back up, you came to the Buffalo.
So I'm thinking that I've always known you as a cyclist, because you used to be my leader at the Y in a spin class,
teacher at the
and just enjoyed her so much. So that's going way back when. But I think the reason why we knew you were doing Buffalo Lodge, and with the COVID starting to open up, it was nerve-wracking getting 20 people or so to gather. Not that I didn't trust the people, but just visually what it would look like for our community. Manitou, are they going to be okay with 20 people meeting in their social space? And, look, they're closer than 3 feet or whatever.
And this was as things were already opening
they were just
up.
starting to open.
We had permission to be out again.
Exactly.
But yes.
And it's outdoors, so it seemed like it was safe.
Yes.
So we recommenced, and we did have a year where we didn't have the regular stuff. And we did actually, a group of us did ride Mount Sunshine, Mount Evans,
Mount Evans.
Mount Former, yes.
FKA.
Yeah, so we've tried to ride through the pandemic, but it was hard. And then it was like, well, if we meet at Tory's, it's private space. We're not going to be in public eyes and not upset anybody. And whoever comes, well, they're coming. That's of their own choice and volition. So it was kind of a really great stepping stone. And then for me now, it's just that collaboration with a local, community that supports cycling in so many ways. It's just been a great fit. And I got to know we'll work with you more. So, yeah.
I love it. And you've always been such a great supporter of me and my family, who had gone through some hard times before COVID. And so it was great to have the bounce back and the clubs coming back. And it's been just my honor to have the club riding out. I love that once a month that you guys eat at we order pizza in and you eat at the Buffalo Lodge and
have
drink your
beer.
drink your beers with
I love
us.
those evenings.
Yes.
It's just really relaxed,
Yeah.
and people can show up as they get back and
Turned into such a great community, and we get to see a lot of the Spokes on other nights now because of all the great music that we have. Like Frank likes to come out with his buddies for the music, so
We'll be there tonight.
you're gonna come tonight. We got a good band tonight too. We always have a good band on the weekends. Tell me, Frank, how did you come to Manitou Spokes, and what does it mean to you?
I'm somewhat of a convert. I've always been a cyclist, but primarily a runner. So on Tuesday night, you have some big competition called the Jack Quinn's Running Club.
In a pub.
So in a pub, I mean, what could be better? So I have over 300 runs with the Jack Quinn's, which means 300 beers plus. But then I'm a convert. I thought, well, you guys are so much fun, and you ride together as opposed to Jack Quinn's. You show up, you take your run by yourself, and you show up at the bar. So that's good. But you have a better formula for togetherness, which I enjoyed.
I think the meal time really helps. It makes a difference. But the one thing that really, I guess, solidified my love and just my extraordinary admiration for this club was the first year that I got to host celebrations and the annual end of season awards for the club, where Dell has lovingly acquired all of these real trophies. And if you've showed up for more than, is it 4 or 5 rides?
Five.
If you've showed up for more than 5 rides, I think I've gotten some special awards, but if you show up for more than 5 rides, she has custom made a trophy that in front of everybody, she presents to you at celebrations along with her thoughts on you. So, and that was where I really saw the heart of this club and just the warmth and the camaraderie in a way like I've never, ever seen with another cycling club. You guys are the cycling club, maybe with the drinking problem or the cycling problem and the drinking, but you also, in my book, are the cycling club with the biggest heart. And I would say that Dell is at the center of that heart for sure. So tell me about celebrations in the awards, Dell.
Yes.
Well, it started, I think Edie would have been the first line. It would have been in my home.
Yeah, it was your home.
And we just had the end of season. Instead of celebrations, it's celebrations. So nobody to believe that this is really authentic trophies. We don't care about who rides the most or whatever, but we try to honor everybody brings something. And to be honest, being a PE coach for most of my life, working with teenage girls a lot and, 16-year-old boys as well to national tournaments and stuff, I found that, I hated the participation trophy, the most improved, and the best. And then what about all the other kids? And for me, I'm a big fan of Ted Lasso. Like every person counts. And if you give the strength to the lowest player on that whole team, it elevates the whole team rather than just dominate the dominant player. And that ego just surpasses everybody else, and everybody tries to pass to that one person. So it's in my coaching veins of, it's about team. It's about every person being a part of this. And how do you elevate all of them? How do you do that? And so even when I was coaching kids, I would do the same thing, basically. And so I'm just transferring that over. It's the same thing. And
I love it. So we brought some of them today. Kathleen, could you?
Yes.
So we're a team.
I have a couple. What?
So we're a team.
Yes.
Definitely.
More than the cycling.
So we have different things that she comes up with about each of us. And she hands me a trophy that calls me Ms. Speedster.
Is that tongue in cheek?
There's always got to be a pussycat
And then-
somewhere on Edie's.
And then Edie has a kitty, and she's called Miss Inspiration because she's a hot rider.
And there's always a cat on it.
There's always a cat because she wears cat's ears. Yeah.
And then I got a Prime Mover Award.
So what was yours, Frank? I can't even remember this. Like how many?
No pressure.
This was when I opened a door for someone, and I don't recall.
right, the door,
I don't
yes.
recall the experience. But
Mr. Door
it
Opener.
must have been impressive. I opened the door for
You're such
someone.
a gentleman, and maybe that.
And so you brought this to light, and it would just. But the important thing is, it's got the globe and my bike ride up Mont Ventoux. So it's Alpe d'Huez, but it was Mont Ventoux.
So she's very thoughtful. So now, how do you get these trophies?
How do I get them? It's actually how do I reconfigure them? Because most people don't know how a trophy is made until you try to dismantle them, the bits and pieces. And yeah, so they're really interesting. I've learned a lot about trophies, their design and everything, and how you can reconfigure them. And then have an idea and go to the dollar store or the Arc or the wherever, and just for a month, just looking ideas and trying to think of, that person and what's that idea. The trouble is now there's like 40 this year.
Oh my goodness.
41.
41 awards.
And the
And
hardest
she says
part,
something about everybody.
and the hardest part is I haven't ridden with everybody this year, partly because we weren't here. We were in
Shitty.
Australia for a while, and then the knee. So I didn't ride with them, so I don't know everybody as well. And then there are people like this woman. How many trophies have I made you?
Probably 40.
So how can I find something new every year? Like Edie, it's got to have a cat on it. I've got to find a cat. And there's new things, nuances. And so I've got yours this year. It's
But
good.
so it's a lovely potluck at the end of season. And so what is your season?
So, daylight saving to daylight saving, because now it's getting too dark. And pretty much that's it. And we've tried a few sort of Saturday rides, weekend rides, because, January, that can be great sometimes. But we're not in the routine of it. And so Tuesday at 5, I hate to shift that. That's kind of people can count on it. Put it in their schedules.
How has the club changed your life? I'm going to go to Kathleen first.
Friendship, activity, cooperation. It has, every Tuesday, I work my whole life, my work job, everything, around being there on Tuesday and meeting everybody. And we've talked about how we don't leave anybody behind. What's really, like, as I've gotten older, I've been slower and was worried about being left behind, but there's always someone that'll check on me and come back and make sure that I get the next turn, or I'm up with a group, or the whole group will stop and wait for me sometimes. So then my husband offered me an e-bike if I would sell my motorcycle. So I went for it.
You're a cool
And
I tell you, she's my
and
mentor.
then I can keep up with anybody.
And she
in the
comes around
beginning.
and likes me and helps me to not be the last one.
Yes, and I get to be the, what do you call the person?
Sweeper.
Sweeper. I get to be the sweeper with my e-bike. But it has started a whole bunch of e-bikes coming into the club now.
Right. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
For all abilities, all ages. It's wonderful how it's opened it up. Edie, what does the club mean to you?
I have to reiterate friendship. I met Casey and Margaret at Manitou Spokes. They got me to join WIMBA, the Women's Mountain Biking Association, and they are my good friends because of Spokes. And the mountain bike group, we don't only ride. I'm sure it's not a secret, Del, but we don't only ride on Tuesdays.
I know. I'm very aware of that.
We
Which is a good
contact
thing.
each other on the weekends. We ride all winter long. We go up to Staunton State Park. We go to Mueller State Park. We do rides in North Cheyenne Canyon a lot. And they've become my good friends, and I'm so grateful. And one thing I should point out to anyone listening who thinks maybe I'll show up for a Manitou Spokes ride on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock but I'm kind of scared. I guarantee you, if you show up for a ride, not knowing anybody, you will leave with at least one new friend.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. True. Yep.
I bet you found that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think I was nervous because I really didn't know if I could keep up. Bike club, that sounds super, specialized. And I just had my little town bike and I didn't have any bicycle clothes. And but it's turned out to be this amazing opportunity to meet new people. Sometimes we get into our little niches and we just don't get to meet new people in our community. And it's, just giving me a chance to kind of explore a new hobby, maybe. We'll see. My husband is really hoping that I'm just going to go full throttle into the biking thing. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not sure, but we'll see. But we're planning a summer trip next year with a bunch of people to maybe ride along the Danube. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's just been a really neat way to connect. Yeah, and where people know your name. It's pretty great.
Frank,
yeah,
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. We don't need an excuse to have another drink. Frank.
Yes.
I don't want to pass up on the fact that you said that you've done 300 of the Jack Quinn's runs. Also you talked about that this is more of a community, but the Jack Quinn's run is always in the same place. You do the same track week after week after week after week.
I know.
But the Manitou Spokes goes all over the place. So tell me about, where do the Spokes ride and what are the rides like?
It is much more interesting with the change up we have. Riding out of your lodge, it usually boils down to the 2 or 3 rides that we like very much. But these away trips are very, very beneficial.
That's great. So what are your favorite? You do the Midland Trail down to like American
Midland
Beautiful Park?
If I feel lazy that day, we do the Midland Trail or Happy Valley or Pleasant Valley.
Mm-hmm. Pleasant Valley to the front of Garden of the Gods?
Correct, yes. Now, the energetic people might go up Gold Camp Road.
Okay.
Can't beat Gold Camp Road.
That's the Hot and Hilly Ride? Is that
Flying W would be another option.
Flying W would be, or
and the Garden of the Gods.
Garden of the Gods, yeah. There are
some
so
crazy
many
people do 7. We'll talk about that.
There's flexibility, so you might start flat and friendly and finish.
And every week might change.
Yeah.
Every week. Yeah.
I'm just never going to join those crazy mountain bikers.
We'd be nice to you. We wouldn't laugh at in your face.
I might add, Dell is the sun goddess.
Oh yeah.
She promises.
Oh, yeah.
Every Friday the sun is going to shine.
And Tuesdays.
And on Tuesdays, just on Tuesdays. And believe me, she has been successful.
Most of the time.
Except
I think she might have a special connection.
Except for a couple glaring exceptions.
The worst ever.
We have gotten caught.
Dumped on.
But
That
makes the best stories.
But then we laughed. We
was a
got
good
to a
story.
point that was like, although there was a young couple who came and joined us. And we haven't seen them since. I don't know. But actually, one thing I do want to add is, and I was alluding to the 719 ride that Edie did 5 laps of. This is, God, Catwoman.
My mountain bike was broken, so I had to
do it. But we've done a lot of extended things too. So I know quite a few of our crew have done the triple bypass. There's been people who have somebody that wants to do that, and they'll train together, like Dave Clay, and then we've had the Tour of the Moon. And we did that, which was fun. 2 years we did that. It was really, really fun. I'm thinking some other ones that we've done. Right now we have 3 people doing the Katy Trail this week. Mm-hmm. We have another couple who are doing some ride in North Carolina this week.
How about ride up Pikes Peak?
Rides up Pikes Peak, that's right, yes.
Tomorrow.
Are you going to go tomorrow? You're going to ride up Pikes Peak tomorrow?
Me and Casey.
That's amazing.
Well, she just
they've
did a
been
marathon
opening
last
Pikes Peak this weekend and last weekend,
Right.
from 7
to
to 9 in the morning to ride up without cars. That's amazing.
Right.
You get a jump start on it.
Oh, no, it's
no, but
not.
at least it's not enough
But-
time. But at least you get to kind of
Yeah.
get going before any cars show up on the road.
The one that you did was a fundraiser kind of for spondylitis.
Oh, yeah.
For one of our riders, and so that was
the first
So that,
time
again,
we
that's
did it.
community kind of.
You guys come to
the
our
outreach.
Cycling Santa sometimes, and then a lot of
Uh-huh.
spokes have showed up for my walk, run, and ride for Daniel.
For Daniel.
my
Done that,
son battling brain cancer.
We've done the what do you call it? The Starlight Spectacular a couple of times. Yeah. So that's the offshoot, is that we get to do things. And I think one of our riders, Jim, who's one of our elder riders,
Yes.
is he 81? 83,
Yes.
and he did the Danube last year. I think he did half of it, and he's been the inspiration for us planning for next May. And we had a meeting of 15 people who were kind of interested in doing that. So that's the other thing, is that it opens up other opportunities.
Well, I like Jim because he was also the inspiration for his daughter Thisbe, who now started a farmer or a local market at the lodge and is now an employee of the lodge, thanks
She's
to
lovely.
the Manitou Spokes and the connection here. So that's been really great too.
Yeah, and it's all about. That's what it's about. And we need more of it than ever.
And you talked about your knee, but I mean, tell me what it looks like when you are out for the season after a knee surgery. What this community, meant for you during that time,
Well, obviously, there's the carrot.
right?
To get back out there. I feel like I'm a turtle this year, which is really hard with, everybody else is out in front and just keeping up with people. But, it's still good that I can still get out there. And
I mean,
for
did
half
you
the-
miss, 2-3 rides?
Yeah, about
Maybe?
She showed up to drink with us.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the other thing, and to sign you in. And
You
just
would never know
to
she had-
reassure you that this will keep going. And actually, the other beautiful part, I have to say, is even when I haven't been able to be there, there have been people who've stepped up. Rachel and Sharon particularly covered us while we were in Australia when I had my knee surgery. So that's the other piece, is that for me, the gift is what I get back. So many ways, and most people don't understand the level of what that means for me. So it comes around. It's for all of us. It's not just saying.
So daylight savings,
Yeah.
you start.
It's too soon.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so sad to have
It's all
the
over.
season coming to an end, but
I'll have to go back to Jack Quinn.
Join the trail trekkers.
Okay.
anything else that you guys could think of that you'd want to just let people know about the club, or, I think we need to come up with an award for Dell.
Yes.
Sun goddess.
I've thought that.
the Sun Goddess
Sun
Award.
Goddess.
Yeah, but it didn't work this year, so no, maybe not.
Well, the rain goddess was pretty fun too, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. And that was really cool, because that particular ride, which was rugged, I mean, we got saturated. But the local South Park brewery, we kind of got there, and they opened their doors and they gave us old shirts to change into and a couple of sort of smelly towels that we could wipe ourselves off, and fed us. And then we went back to eat there, and she gave us like beers to go. So again, it's just
Yeah,
like
community,
what goes around
once
comes around.
again.
The more you give, the more you get. It's just, it's such a, well, you know that.
Yes. Thank you.
So.
Thank you. Well, thank you for all you do, and thank you for bringing the Manitou Spokes family and team to club to the lodge, and thank you for being here today. It's such
nice.
an honor.
Enjoy.
I mean, we
Very
are,
good.
it's kind of like I call my business a for-profit business that runs like a nonprofit, and I'm a Colorado Springs business that acts like it's a Manitou Springs business. We have the mayor rides. We have the Manitou Spokes. We're part of the Manitou Chamber, and it really is only a stone's throw to the border of Manitou Springs, which,
Right.
as soon as you head out of the lodge and you turn right, you're in Manitou Springs. But so we're all part of the same community. And the Manitou Spokes is just a gym at the base of Pikes Peak. Yes.
And what she has not mentioned is that the name of your business, the name of all of this gathering of bicyclers is the Buffalo Lodge.
I will. That's a good point, Kathleen. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening to the Pedal the Springs podcast on Studio 809. Pedal the Springs podcast is brought to you by the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort, the only bicycle-themed lodging and must-stay for cyclists coming to Colorado. Check us out at bicycleresort.com. Also, be sure to check out the show notes that we mentioned in this episode and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, be sure to check out the other fine podcasts at studio809podcast.com, your local voices in the Pikes Peak region. Pedal the Springs podcast is produced by Studio 809 and recorded at the Next Us. It is a professional, cooperative environment for small businesses in downtown Colorado. Thanks for watching.
Woo!
Cheers.
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 Well done.
Cheers.
Well, that was fun.